Last year, probably in common with a lot of forums, we held a big event and told everybody what was happening with the SEND reforms. We did that in February of last year, just before the grant money ran out. And we had the biggest number of people that had ever come to an event in Sunderland, which was fantastic. So when we were deciding what we were planning to do this year, we didn't want to do just the same thing again. And we also wanted to do it a lot quicker. So we decided to run a pop-up shop, which we did in our local shopping centre in Sunderland. I approached the shopping centre management, who's one of the managers just so happened to have a son who was disabled, so it was really nice and easy, actually, to be perfectly honest. And they told me that if we had a shop, even for a day, we would have to pay business rates for 3 months. However, they would give us a space, their charity barrow space, and they would site it for us. They would cordon it off for us. They would put a little bit of carpet down. They would give us some armchairs so we could make it nice and friendly, which is exactly what they did. And they told me where it was going to be, and it was next door to a coffee shop. We could bring tea, we could bring coffee, we could have the Wi-Fi that was in the centre as well, so we could show people things on it. And so that was all great. They then told me on the day of it that they'd moved us, so that wasn't so great. But anyway, I then got in touch with the coffee shop because I thought, well, we'll make teas and coffees, and how are we going to do that? Well, it's going to be here, there and everywhere. So I went into the coffee shop, which wasn't Costa, wasn't Starbucks, but it was a local one, and arranged with them that they would supply us with tea and coffee, which they did at a very, very reduced rate, and we could provide our own cakes and things, so we could bring along cups of tea and things. And if anybody who was talking to us at all got upset at all about anything, they provided a little private area where you could take a parent or a carer through to, and you could sit with them. So it all seemed fantastic. So we set on a date, and we set off for 3 days that we would do this. The things that the shopping centre required from us was we must have public liability insurance, and we must have insurance for our volunteers as well. We had to be in the shopping centre from 8:30 till 5:30 every day. So, problems. I haven't asked for any money for doing public liability insurance, and I didn't know where to go for that. But somebody else in my regional forum did know, so I got some advice about that. We weren't doing a big event, so I just used that money instead, and I'll worry about the grant next time. So we got some insurance, which cost us about £350, which I didn't think was too bad. I did a whole load of photocopying, professionally done photocopying of the SNJ for things, what is the SEND reforms, we did the transition plan for Sunderland, we did a lot of stuff from the CDC website as well, just nice, simple things that parents want to know. That cost about £800 to get the photocopying done. I'll come back to that in a moment, as why that cost so much. We then had the problem of it had to be there from 8:30 till 5:30 every day, because parents can't do 8:30 till 5:30 every day. So, in the spirit of co-production, I decided that the local authority would also come along and help. And I said, sod co-production. This is going to be a dictatorship. You will come along and help me do this, because this is a way of you telling the people of Sunderland what is happening in Sunderland with their reforms. And to be fair to them, they stepped up. Bless their hearts. We also had the carer centre. We had the person who is working admin on the local offer. We had the short break service, we had the youth inclusion officer, we had the IASS PPS to anybody else. We had her there as well, and they did the bits that the parents couldn't do. I'm in a very, very fortunate position because my husband is retired, so I was able to be there every day. So there was a parent there as well. Some of the forum members said, oh, I can't do that, I can't stand up, I can't do that. But there is always something they could do. We provided homemade cakes, homemade biscuits, And it's amazing what somebody who is passing you by will do for a piece of lemon drizzle cake. It's quite amazing. We had one or two odd things. As I say, they had moved us as well, which was a little bit of a problem because we had advertised it as being, outside a Squire's coffee shop and up to the Sky shop. So that was the things there. And the first day we'd moved, which was not great. But it actually became quite a fun thing because it then became on Facebook, this is where we are today. Let's see if you can find us. So they moved us 2 or 3 times, but we did get a very, very good space in the end, and they kept us there. And the security guard was just absolutely brilliant and moved us every night. It was good in that because we didn't have the shop, people were passing by. However, you were standing there saying, hello, do you know anybody who's got a children with a disability? And they were saying, no thanks. I thought, I'm not giving you one. I'm not trying to sell you one, because we were next to the Diabetes UK people who were trying to sell raffle tickets, So then we put up little leaflets that were on the outside to show what we were. And we had over 200 people who came to visit us. 67. We also kept a tally, which we didn't do particularly well the first day, but we did do after that. We had over 200 people came to see us. 67% of whom are people who are not known to us at all. The vast majority of that 67% were people who were on School Action Plus. And because we had the transition report there as well, we could say to those ones who were going to be getting an EHC plan, you don't need to worry about your annual review this year. It'll be next year you'll be doing. Here's the leaflets. Put them in your bag. We bought little plastic bags that the leaflets would fit in, and we put a sticker on, again, which cost me, I think, £180 to do the both, to put them all in. So I spent in total £1,300 on this event. I spent £3,000 last year on doing my large event as well, and I saw more people. The reason it cost me £800 for the photocopying was because we did very high quality photocopying. And in Sunderland, you have Sunderland, Washington and Coalfields, which is why we've got the daft name of the Sunderland, Washington, Coalfield Parent Carer Council, which nobody ever can remember, because Washington people don't speak to Sunderland people, because it's across the river, and the Coalfields, they don't speak to either of us at all. So we are going to do this again in Washington, not for 3 days, I tell you that much. And then again in the Coalfields area. So all of these reports will go as well. We advertised it in the Carers Centre newsletter. We advertised it in our own bulletin. It was out on Sun FM radio. The shopping centre gave us the use of their PR lady for a day for nothing as well. So all in all, it was extremely helpful and supportive. The Carer Centre staff were fantastic because they would drag them all in and then we would sit down. But we had, at one stage, we had 7 volunteers who were all dealing with somebody at the time, and we had a queue of people waiting because people used to come and sort of, what are you doing? What are you giving away? And things. We also had people who said, how do you get to Marks and Spencer's? And we had one that was a safeguarding issue that came up that we really didn't want to know about at all, but at least we could pass them on to the Carer Centre, so that was okay as well. All in all, by the end of the 3 days, I was knackered. And 3 days is a long, long time if you're standing there from 9 till 5:30. And I'm running out of time now. But it is a very, very effective and good way. And for £1,300, and I'm going to be able to, because I've got my insurance, I've got all my leaflets, I've got the staff browbeaten now, so they're going to have to do it again because they can't not do it in the other 2 areas as well. It's an idea. Take it and run with it. Thank you. Thank you very much.